Wake Up with Jim and Saab is now exclusive on Spotify.
If you're thinking of making your own podcast, use Anchor. You can download it free on the App Store and Play Store. Hey guys, so we're going through really difficult times right now as a country and as individuals, and we want to be able to give you something to uplift you and cheer you up, and we hope that this podcast is doing just the trick. But let's not stop there. There are donation drives that are posted on our Instagram page, Wake Up with Jim and Sab. And we also want to thank our patrons over at patreon.com because 100% of our subscriptions for November will be going to those in need.
Okay, before we begin, what we're going to talk about is accountability over glorified resiliency. Glorifying resiliency. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun, Sab?
Yun yung parang kapag sobrang binaha na yung city tapos may picture ng man who's like still smiling. Tapos parang, ano talaga, ang Pinoy talaga, ang galing talaga kasi kahit anong mangyari sa kanila, nakasmile pa rin. We're such a happy people.
Parang ang point natin is, enough is enough.
Yeah, parang,
Enough is enough.
Let's not, parang okay, it's great that he can see the silver lining, but parang, bakit kaya binaha?
Why does this man have no home?
Bakit kaya nawala yung bahay niya? Okay lang ba tayo doon? Tapos, ang galing talaga. Tapos, tumutulong pa siya sa mga ibang tao.
Tapos parang, Ate, what filter works for this poor man? Diba?
Because I want to post it on Instagram and say, this is really what life is about.
For example, posting a picture of street children. And then they're like smiling. Ako, yun. I think the reason why nag-trend to is because for the longest time, it's always been like, grabe talaga ang heart of the Filipino. But, that's fine. But you cannot take away taking the government and its incompetence unaccountable.
You can't let them be unaccountable for this. Kasi, parang, imagine mo sige, tama ka, the heart of the Filipinos, we are really resilient people. But imagine if that was partnered with great governance. Oh my gosh, imagine what we can be. And that's why I am running for...
So, for this episode, stay tuned. We have one of your favorite guests, your pod Ninong, coming up. We're gonna talk about accountability, and we're gonna list down all the shitty stuff that's been going on. Stay tuned.
Why did it take so long? I'm tired.
Welcome to the Wake Up with Jim Sab podcast. Okay.
Ang sama ng gising ko.
Yeah.
Ang sama.
Can I introduce the guest?
There was really a segue.
Okay.
Nako, Jim, talagang, can you be a pro next time? There was to be, like, banter, and then
Alam ko,
sakto,
nakalimutan
meron
mo eh.
Sama ng gising ko kasi something happened last night.
Kasi ako rin dapat may intro ako.
Okay. Sige, dapat
Pero
siguro
sige, go lang.
sinusulat natin itong mga to, no?
Sige, go.
Ano, sige, ikaw na. Okay.
Ikaw na. Mukhang maganda yun sa'yo.
May nangyari kasi kagabi na hindi maganda yung sa paggising ko. You know, we say it all the time, don't reach for your phone right away, but you know, it happens. And bumulaga sa akin, grabe. Top trend, #Duterte meltdown. So, Jim?
Okay, so that's why we have on the show today our best friend and political correspondent, non-political correspondent, humanitarian, Ali Sangalang of Linya Show.
Hello!
Hey, Ali!
Hi, Ali.
Hi Jim, hi
So-
Sab, hi Podkids.
Ito yung intro ko dapat. Ang sasabihin ko kasi dapat is, so, last week when Ulysses happened, we had the trifecta. No internet, no water, no signal, no, hindi maka-text, no internet, whatever. So, I had to, drive out, and then, finally, for the first time, I think in 10 years, nakinig ako ng AM radio. Because once again, we are privileged, 'di ba? Compared to most of our fellow kababayans, 'di ba? Who don't get that who don't have ample sources of information. So anyway, AM radio sakto. Oh my gosh, it's the president of the country. So ako kasi I was listening to the radio because I wanted to find out what's going on. Wala talaga kaming alam. Alam lang namin na pucha, hindi kami makatulog buong gabi, walang kuryente, walang tubig, but of course, what's happening to the nation? So anyway, sakto, AM station, the president, as you have heard, unfortunately, went on a rant saying nga na basically it was wala na namang siyang kwenta, and
This is the day after, the morning after the horrible storm. Okay.
Yes. So I'm getting to my point. So sabi ko, oh man, sabi ko, so basically he said, kung ako nga, yung usual niya, yung pamacho-macho na, ako nga, lalangoy ako, kung pwede lang, hindi naman ako nawawala, nandito naman ako. And then goes into this weird thing. Once again, my only point is, imagine na lang all the Filipinos who don't have internet and who don't have other sources of information, and this is the only sense of security that they can get from the leader of the nation. That's why after that I told Saab, I think we should get Ali, and kasi after that talagang mas nag-highlight yung accountability over glorifying resiliency. Okay, so that's why I said, hey, why don't we get Ali on the pod and we talk about what parang the biggest offenses that the government has made, or this administration has made recently.
Basically, this is us calling them out.
And this is us making them accountable for it. Anyway, pero before this whole, we had this whole show planned out, tas nangyari itong thing. So, even more.
The Duterte meltdown.
So, yung Duterte meltdown, what happened exactly?
So last night, he addressed the nation once again at close to midnight again, because he's a night person. Right? And he said a lot of shitty things, including a very sexist remark. Did you see that, Jay?
Yeah, yun yung malala.
Oh, yeah. So
What was the sexist remark?
he said, ikaw,
Hindi ko alam kung anong
Ikaw-
bahay ang
Ito.
ikaw,
Ali?
do you have it, Ali?
Oo.
I don't want to say it.
Oo nga, ako, ang hirap din sabihin na to, pero, I mean, sama kasi talaga. Ikaw nung gabi, anong oras ka umuwi? Isang bahay ka lang ba? Dalawang bahay? Nagtatanong lang ako, kay congressman ka, kaninong bahay ka natagalan?
Oh my God.
Ganun.
So he spent the first 20
Kalala.
minutes of his address criticizing Robredo.
Kaya nga, honestly, all the tweets that, and everything that we've seen, it's very simple na nga lang to. Wala na nga tong political faction. Wala na nga hanash to. This is just really condemning, condemning a person who is helping.
Yeah, and alam mo, okay, on one hand, grabe, resiliency-wise, ang galing talaga na we're mobilizing all our efforts, the private community, we're doing these donation drives, and we're raising a lot of money. But then, you can't just tell people to tumulong ka na lang kaysa magreklamo ka. You can't do that eh. Why can't you do both? You can do both. You can say, hey, what the fuck? Am I not paying taxes? Bakit walang nagagawa? Bakit kayo humihingi ng pera na naman sa akin? Di ba dapat ikaw yung, shouldn't you be taking care of your people? Yun. That's why it doesn't have to be one or the other. Na you can help out if you want to, if you can, but you can also call out the government and hold them accountable. So Leni Robredo replied to that horrible thing that Duterte said. She said, when a president is a misogynist, the conversation goes down to this level. And then she posted a video of what happens on the scene at the office of the vice president. She said, ito po yung ginagawa namin gabi-gabi. Nagpupuyat ilang linggo na para araw-araw may madala lang na tulong sa mga nangangailangan. And what I liked about what she said rin, because a lot of people are criticizing her for tweeting a lot.
Real people or
May
mga
mga-
piso net?
may mga real people rin who are like, mapapel siya because why does she have to tweet it? She doesn't have to. Alam mo yung gano'n, yung parang kung magbibigay ka, ba't di ka na lang magbibigay? Ba't kailangan mo i-tweet? Ba't mo kailangan mo i-post sa Instagram? Kasi para sa akin, parang, why do you have to look for fault in that? 'Di ba? At least na nakaka-inspire. Pero ito nga hindi nga siya ordinaryong tao vice president siya.
Yeah.
Why she needs to do that is because she needs to let people know that they are being heard, that they are actually on ground, they are doing something. Because otherwise, the people who are affected by the storms are just thinking, oh my God, kanina ba kami tweet ng tweet? Asan na ba sila? Asan na ba? Nasaan na ang Pangulo? Yun nga yung point We need to hear you. Where are you? What are you doing? Because otherwise, we're just headless chickens.
Ikaw, Ali, ano yung initial response mo when you saw the
Ang hirap na ang hirap na nasasanay tayo sa ganito. Kasi dapat hindi tayo masanay sa mga ganitong remarks. Kasi kahit paulit-ulit niyang sinasabi, hindi nababawasan yung bigat ng sama nung remarks na yan. And ayun, naiinis ako kasi nasa gitna tayo ng bagyo, ng sakuna, tapos ganito yung pinag-uusapan. Paano naging message to the nation to? Ito yung gusto mong main point na take away ng mga tao. Itong mga rant mo, itong mga kabastusan mo. Yan talaga. Dalawang bagay yung hinihingi natin No, yung I think ngayon yung hinahanap mo, Jim, nung napakinggan mo siya sa AM radio 'Di ba? Information tsaka inspiration. Yung dalawang yun sana yung makuha natin from our leaders. And hindi na nga natin nakukuha sa kanya yung information and inspiration as head of state, as father of the nation. Ito pang nanay natin, nagbibigay na information and inspiration in her own capacity, given vice president siya, malayo yung coverage ng power niya compared sa presidente. Titirahin niya pa ng ganyan. So yun talaga, frustrate talaga, and nakakagalit na talaga.
Ito may question ako. Kasi 'di ba, I mean, in different that's a usual parang strategy ng government, 'di ba? Yung distract. Like when there's like something going on, kaya nga sabi nila if may scandal yung administration, magpagera ka, gumawa ka ng bomb something. Do you think that most of these things happening are deliberate na? The failure of COVID, this ito na naman, itong failure of calamity and crisis response. Do you think this administration is smart enough na these things are actually strategical or
no?
I think
ikaw, Ali, since you used to work in what do you think?
I think sanay na sila na ganito yung galaw nila Hindi na siya parang hindi kami ganito pero magiging ganito tayo para strategic. Parang naka-embed na sa kanila And kung titingnan mo rin naman yung track record nito, consistent siya na ganyan ang ginagawa niya even before. So tingin ko naka-embed na sa kanila. Pero it just so happens na parang kinakagat ng mga tao, no? And gumagana pa rin. So yun, sa akin tingin ko hindi ito strategic, more on talagang ganito na sila.
Ikaw, Saab, do you think na
Ako naiinis ako kasi parang I feel like I'm a very empathetic person. And parang my natural thing is to go like, if a person's being weird or parang bakit hindi sa tamang pag-iisip, I really think na parang, maybe wala nga siya talaga sa tamang pag-iisip. Pero for me, parang nakakainis kasi then you shouldn't lead the country if you don't have the capacity to do it, 'di ba? Kasi you're putting lives in danger, literally. People are dying.
Yeah, I think on a normal day, 'di ba, this would be infuriating, 'di ba? But I think yung malala dito is parang just to add to your point, Sab, parang I think incompetence is is understandable.
Mm.
What's not acceptable is the inhumanity.
Mm.
'Di ba? For me, inhumane yung nangyayari ngayon. Na
Oo.
you're condemning someone
Yeah.
helping.
Exactly.
You're condemning someone who hasn't initiated any political attack against you, but is actually just helping our fellow countrymen.
You know, Roque said, parang those who want VP Lenny to be to be the president of the country, if you want that, you would have to be really evil, because that would mean you wish the president to be ill.
Ang labo.
So parang ako, you know what's really evil? Threatening the woman helping out your
Yeah.
countrymen
Yeah.
because she's helping out
Grabe
and
talaga.
making you look bad.
Grabe
Yeah.
talaga. I think most of sila Roque talagang
Oo.
parang sa Jerry's Grill natuto
Oo.
magdebate.
Oo.
'Di ba?
Habang inuman.
Yan siguro example, Jim, na na strategic, or tingin ko kaya niyang tingin ko alam ni Roque yung tama eh. Pinipili niya lang yung mali. Kasi dati naman,
Really?
tingin ko. Kasi lawyer to,
yeah.
tas dati, professor yan ng law school professor yan eh, and maraming natuto sa kanya before. And siya rin yung nagpo-push for
Hindi incompetence yan.
Oo. Ito
He's
deliberate
allowing
naman
it.
yan.
He's allowing it to happen.
Oo, human
Oh my
rights,
God. So,
yan eh. Human rights advocate yan. Tapos biglang...
ganun ba?
Oo. Tapos biglang bumaliktad. Kaya...
Yeah, he was joining rallies, diba, before?
Well, si Tite.
Si Panelo?
Si
Dick.
si
Si Dick. Yun
Si
din.
Etit.
Oo.
Why?
Yeah. Ngayon nga dapat natin siya marinig eh, no? Dahil disaster
Hindi.
to. Tas,
Nagsalita na siya, Ali.
Ano
ano
sabi
sabi?
niya?
Nambintag na sinisin niya na naman.
Yung tao.
Sinisin niya yung tao. That's
Ito yung nakakatawa, Jim, kasi di ba si Dick nga, ay dinedefend itong si Presidente. Si Presidente, nilaglag siya, sinabi niya, corrupt daw ang Philippine Red Cross.
What?
Oo.
Sinabi niya yun?
Oo, before to the
Anong
Ulysses.
basis niya?
Hindi ko alam. Basta hindi ko na nga nasubaybayan yung reaction ni Gordon. Parang ang naging reaction na lang niya, baka iba yung interpretation natin sa sinabi ni Pangulo. Para sa loob-loob ko talaga. Hanggang dyan, tinira na diretso yung yung organization mo. Tapos,
Oo nga.
ganyan ka pa rin.
Pero okay, sige. So okay.
Ako, Jim,
Let's
meron
go.
lang ako
Go.
idadagdag na isa. No, alam ko, napunta tayo dun sa part na incompetence, tas parang evil, ganyan. Ako minsan, ang naiisip ko nga, nanggagaling lang sa insecurity rin talaga nitong mamang to eh.
Oh,
Kaya,
yeah.
Yeah.
sobrang insecure niya, pinagtatakpan niya yung incompetence niya. Kaya kapag aware na siya na nalalamangan siya, 'di ba? Dadaanin niya sa mga petty na mga bagay para mapagtakpan yung totoong hinahanap ng tao na trabaho, 'di ba? So,
Yeah.
What I'm trying to understand lang talaga is that he has so many smart people. Like you said, yun nga, apparently si Dolphin, matalino. I'm sure he has a lot of young, aspiring potential leaders, no?
Oo, meron naman.
How do you think they feel when he does something like this? Na parang, kaya honestly, like, like, I've been keeping up with yung sa US nga. Daming mga late night hosts who are saying like, this is heartbreaking, it's the death of democracy. May ganun, may heartbreak. Do you think may heartbreak na nararamdaman to mga to na we are, na parang, na being in the presidential team, we are yun nga, parang tainting
Yeah, you're
the
part
presidency.
of the you're part of the
Do you
worst.
think may ganun?
Ang tingin ko dyan ganito, Jim, parang I think itong mga tao sa paligid ni Presidente, hindi ko naiisip na sumali sila dito, tas ang nasa isip nila ay gagawa tayo ng masama. Tutulong akong sirain tong bansang to. Parang nag-start siya, tingin ko, sa magandang intention. Nabigyan ako ng opportunity to serve, nabigyan ako ng position para mas makatulong, tatanggapin ko to. Pero tingin ko, nangyayari, hindi isang malaking decision eh. Pero yung mga maliliit na decisions nila na hinahayaan lang nila ay nagbi-build up at nagpa-pile up hanggang masyado nang malalim yung involvement nila para mag-back out. So tingin ko siya slow burn siya, para slow cook na dahan-dahan na hinahayaan nila hanggang sa lumalim na ng lumalim at hindi ka na makalabas.
Yes.
Panindigan
I
ko na
agree.
lang, parang gano'n.
I agree. I made Jim watch this thing by Stephen Colbert na he had this really emotional thing about when Trump was still in the running for president. Thankfully, hindi siya nanalo. But he was really so upset na. And then he said, this is really... Nagalit na siya nung sinabi ni Trump na nag-cheat si Joe Biden. He said, ito na. Kung hindi pa ito yung magpagalit sa inyo, ito na yon. So, what has to happen? Kasi nga binabastos yung presidency, yung buong admin, yung democracy, binabastos. What has to happen is the Republicans finally have to call him out. And I think this thing that happened last night, holy shit, this is it.
Yeah.
Our countrymen, they are fucking dying na. Because, well, it's been happening for a long time now. Pero, yung sinabi niya na, 'di ba, na bakit tumutulong pa tong very competent woman in charge, this is really like, you want people to just fucking die? You have to get angry now. Kayong mga supporters niya, come on. It's not too late. You have to say something. Call him out and don't just be silent.
Honestly, I've been waiting for that moment nga eh. Wala bang kahit anong inkling ng ganon? Walang...
May ganon nung ABS-CBN. Nagkaroon ng ganon.
May spark
Sino?
ng konti.
I mean,
Yung mga
finally,
tao.
the celebrities who were quiet, finally.
Not siguro the celebrities, pero more of anyone in his administration. Meron na bang kahit onting...
Meron. Hindi, dati, Jim, may mga pakunti-kunti na mga dati niyang sekretary na ngayon, kinakalaban. Hindi kinakalaban, parang kino-call out na siya. No? So, pero lately parang wala na eh. Kasi parang ang tagal na nitong mga to dyan, tas yun nga, parang pinapanindigan na lang nila. And parang, ang nasa isip siguro nila, konti na lang to. Konting tiis na lang, 2 years
Lapit
na lang.
na.
Oo, tawirin na lang, tas makakalimutan na ako ng mga tao after this.
Yeah.
It's wild. Okay, well,
Okay.
so as much as this administration has been fucking up a lot, I think it's been under a magnifying glass now that there's a pandemic going on. So we asked our listeners, our podcast listeners, our pod kids, what are the most infuriating things that the government has done during this pandemic that demand accountability? What do we have to call them out for? Number 1 is inaction. Inaction. So Ishibel said, top of my head, not banning flights from China agad, which led to this crazy 8-month lockdown that affected and will continuously affect, because of all the utang, a lot of Filipinos.
Nakakatawa, no? Nung tinitingnan ko yung list na to, Ali, parang, sabi ko, oh my God, nangyari nga pala yan. And on top of all of this thing, the one that has killed the most people is the actual government's EJK.
Yeah.
Na
Nawala
completely
na sa
nakalimutan na nating
Oo.
lahat. People have completely forgotten about that. So I just want to put it out there. Anyway.
I
Yeah.
haven't forgotten about that.
Okay. What?
Okay. More about inaction. Share ko lang, mabilis lang to. Kaylez says, no concrete plans and tangible results out of bayanihan to heal as one act, eme. Oh, to think that we even resorted to billions of worth of loans. Itong bayanihan to heal as one act. Ali, can you just explain? Ano
Oo
siya?
nga. Puro salita. Yun, no? Ganun kahaba, no? Bayanihan to heal as one. Pero the fact na
ano ba yun?
wala tayong masabi about. Ito supposedly yung program nila to address itong COVID-19.
Yeah. So they created this thing and put money into it.
Oo.
And parang, okay.
Parang
And then,
more on parang the fact na wala tayong ma-pinpoint ngayon, top of mind, na ano bang nagawa nito, means na hindi umaabot, 'di ba? And ang tingin ko nangyari dito para lang may maganda silang tawag sa programa na to at masabi na meron silang
May ginawa sila.
go-to program. Ito yung ginagawa namin, Bayanihan to Heal as One. Na to. Pero
And
hindi ko
ano
alam.
siya, Ali? Ano yung, what have they said na nagawa na nun?
Ay, hindi ko alam yung details nito pero dapat ito may funds na naka-direct na sa kasi yung budget
Alleviate yung mga job loss and
oo
stuff.
kasi yung budget kasi natin Jim naka-ano na yan naka-set na pero dahil may nangyaring ganito kailangan ng emergency na pondo. Alam ko isang part yung ano dyan pag-allot ng budget at programs na specific to the pandemic.
Okay. Sige. Okay. Let's go.
next is Nina says, the fact that he has all the budget he needs and keeps asking for more, pero wala pa rin concrete plans, while VP Lenny doesn't have any budget, yet was able to do more. Tapos si VP pa yung ang daming reklamo, puro salita, pero walang gawa.
Yan pa yung, wala pa to. This was
This was
Yeah.
pre-meltdown.
Okay,
Yeah.
si Trisha.
Trisha says, lalayo pa ba? Sleeping soundly while the country he has
Ay,
sworn to
grabe.
lead suffered from the typhoons.
Grabe.
Yun, Ali, ano ang take mo when, kasi
he said
honestly,
it was a Sunday kasi, di ba, nung Rolly.
Oo.
He said, and he didn't say that. Ama ba, Ali? His spokesperson said, linggo kasi, kaya wala si Presidente.
Yun ang sinabi. No.
nung
Para-
first,
Oo, nung day na yon parang excuse nila ay weekend nangyari yan. Pero sa akin, yun yung ultimate sign or ultimate example ng indifference nito at inaction ni Presidente. No? May sakuna, nasa ng Pangulo, nasa kama.
Yes.
Ano pang lalala dun sa na yon, sa image na yon. Ano? At yun ang nagsasummarize kung anong klaseng tao to. Yun.
Ano yung kasi kami actually nung honestly parang because nga we've been parang na kami sa Twitter, parang naging
Yeah.
talaga siya toxic
Oo.
space talaga siya, no?
And it's not the people's fault, ha? Go ahead and
Oo.
get angry on Twitter. Kami
Yeah.
lang medyo na lang kami.
For our
Yeah,
mental
tama lang yan.
Meron lang
health.
kaming amount of time siguro in the morning or in the afternoon to check
Yeah.
it, to get up to date.
And yun
Really
those little
boils my blood.
those little pieces of our day I would say are the lows.
Yeah.
So kaya anyway, so okay, what's next?
Number 2 after inaction is incompetence. Yes, that's what we're talking about. April said, I cannot stand how they face the people unethically. Like, can you all be professional and act like what your role is in the government? Pwede bang magsalita at umakto tayo sa responsibilidad na ibinigay sa'yo ng pagiging public servant? I believe that the reason why we are all so doomed right now is they cannot separate their egos and interests from their posts. They all forget their whys, why they're doing this. Them being a public servant is not a title to brag about, but a responsibility and a privilege to actually serve the people and the country. I'm so mad about how selfish they've become when the power vested in them sprouts from the idea of being selfless to serve our nation. So true.
That's good.
That's
Amen.
Actually, ito, Ali, if we do have a politician nga, like on the pod, I really want to ask at what point does a politician no longer see outside his car window? Alam mo yun, parang when does he become completely indifferent and hindi na nakikita na I'm in my fucking expedition. Sarap ang ganda ng expedition ko.
Congressman.
In his big car, and then he sees outside the window and there are people begging for money. There are people in,
Oo.
Asking for food.
Ako same pa rin yung tingin ko magiging sagot dyan, Jim I mean, sana meron talagang politician dito na sasagot niyan. Pero ako, inaisip ko, again, hindi siya isang major decision na simula nung araw na yon naging evil na siya or hindi niya na out of touch na siya sa mga tao. Nagsisimula siya sa isang maliit na maling decision na hinayaan niyang binaliwala niya lang. Hindi, okay lang yan.
Gets.
Tas
Tama.
sumunod, nasasanay ka ng, 'di ba, gumawa ng ganong decision hanggang sa nade-desensitize ka na. Imbis na tao yung nakikita mo, ano na lang sila? Maliit na parte na lang ng ng mundo.
I get that. That's why parang Duterte was being praised at first, 'di ba? Kasi nga parang as mayor, kuno marami siyang ginawa daw for Davao. So parang people were saying we need a mayor kind of thinking kasi to actually, be on the ground and yung ganon, to actually see what's going on. Pero tama ka, Ali, when you become in charge of a whole thing, it's easy to just, okay, that's not like bigger picture tayo. I can't na see itong nawalan ng nanay dahil hindi na na-save dun sa bagyo. Hindi na niya nakikita yon.
And alam ko sigurado may mga nag-iisip agad or mamimiloso po na, siyempre, presidente nga siya, no? Hindi naman niya kayang puntahan lahat, etc. Hindi naman yun yung sinasabi natin eh. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
And totoo lang, hindi nga yun yung pinaka matalinong gawin eh. 'Di ba?
Oo nga.
Pero hindi rin yun yung hinihingi naman natin sa kanya eh. 'Di ba? Hindi naman natin gusto ang makipag surfing siya dyan sa baha eh, 'di ba?
Actually, oo nga
Iwan na natin yun kay Rocky.
Honestly, if only he did his first statement after Ulysses was, okay, we are trying the best that we can. Ganyan. We've made open our hotlines to respond as fast as we can. Ganyan. Huwag kayong mag-alala, your government is here for you. Yun lang.
That's it.
Yun lang.
Magising ka lang.
Oo.
Magising ka lang po.
Honestly, you know what a good PR move would have been for him? Would have just said, alam ko mabiro talaga akong tao. Pero yung nangyayari ngayon ay walang biro. At kaya ako, ita-turn over ko ang discussion kay ganito. Ganun. Kasi siya ang mag-head ng ganyan. Parang ganun.
Tingin ko like hindi naman tayo OA na ang dami nating hinihingi sa kanya. Basic lang. And totoo lang.
Bare minimum.
Totoo lang, ready tayong magulat isang gabi. Na, oh my God, tama siya.
Yeah.
Diba?
Please prove us wrong. Go.
Oo nga, game. At gusto ko sabihin na, totoo lang, ang dami nangyaring masama. Pero kung bigyan lang ng konting dahilan yung mga tao to follow him and to help out, gawin natin. 'Di ba? Parang hindi naman to to black or white lang no. Parang ang problema, never talagang dumarating yung hinihingi natin na yun. Lalo lang lumalala every time.
Yeah.
No? And
parang honestly, parang every week I'm hoping and anticipating maybe this is the time that they all get their act together and tama na, wag na natin gaguhin yung Anyway, okay, what's next?
So next is indifference and neglect on constituents. So number 1 is the ignoring concerns regarding Magat Dam since 2015. Ali, can you tell us more about Magat Dam?
Ay, hindi ko alam yung
nabasa
details.
Ko so yung Magat Dam, I hope I'm saying it right.
Tama, Magat.
It's a dam in Cagayan.
What's a dam?
What's No, it's not funny. But Magat Dam kasi it's a dam ang puta. It does not directly. So I pulled up this post from Facebook, the most reliable of sources.
Yeah.
But I will quote a person who wrote this, Ranhilio Aquino. He said, "In justice to Tuguegarao, Magat Dam does not directly benefit the people of Cagayan. The power it generates goes into the national grid, powering mainly Manila. And yet, when incessant rains necessitate the opening of the floodgates, it's northern Isabela and Tuguegarao that are inundated. The residents forced to abandon homes and belongings." That's exactly what happened. So yun yung sinasabi nila na this Magat Dam has to stop because it's not working. Yeah. Okay. So next, Yane says, "This pandemic highlighted how detached our government officials are from reality. Sobrang infuriating, sobrang disheartening." When the lockdown was imposed, the DOTR left us with 2 transportation options, magkotse or maglakad. Kahit gaano pa kalayo yung pupuntahan mo. Tang ina, I remember this nga. Sabi ni Panelo, wala naman daw namamatay sa gutom.
Oo, lala niya.
The
Oh my
DepEd
God.
assumes that all students and all families have the capability to learn from home. So many more examples. Basically, the government is responding to the pandemic in a way na ang upper class lang ang nabe-benefit. Yes. This is what happens when we elect dynasties and people from such privileged backgrounds. So true! Hindi nila alam ang tunay na realidad ng mga Pilipino, thus resulting in anti-poor policies. But at the same time, sila lang din kasi ang may kakayahang tumakbo because you need to have money and status to run a campaign. It's infuriating that we need to settle for these people. Sana talaga meron tayong mga grassroots organizations like in the US, brand new Congress that find normal citizens that could run for office. Yung kay AOC, the movie that we watched on Netflix. Watch that.
Oh.
I have so many thoughts on this pero ito na lang muna. Ha. Sorry sa nobela.
Pero ano no, this was this is the peak of this thing was the stay home. Diba? Yung motherfucker, stay home.
Yeah, yung mga ano ba yan? Kailangan manood na lang kayo ng Netflix. Ba't pa kayo nagreklamo? Stay at home.
Parang, lockdown has been kind to us. Ano, parang stop complaining, let's cooperate.
It's actually a blessing. Sobrang parasite.
God, patay.
Anyway, more. Another dam. The construction of the Kaliwa Dam. Or Kaliwa. Ano ba to, Ali? Ano ba to?
Kaliwa dam. Oo.
Kaliwa Dam. So another reason for the flooding. Sorry, I'm eating. Dana Marie says, the fact na hindi talaga sila nakikinig sa ng mga nasasakupan nila. Sa totoo lang, may guidance na sila ng experts at ng masa kung paano nila i-improve ang sitwasyon. Kayang-kaya na lang i-execute yan dahil sa power at resources. Pero sila lang talaga nakikinabang. Nakakagigil talaga yung ayaw na lang makinig.
Yeah.
Ay, nako. Next is number 4, injustice. Yes, we've read so much about this. So Mikey shares, oh my gosh, yeah, I read about this. When Mother Reyna May Nasino was not even given a chance to mourn for her dead child who died of pneumonia shortly after they were separated by a court order.
Oh my God.
Baby River was only 3 months old and it was so important for the baby to be breastfed and to be with her mother at that stage.
Oh my God.
Take note that Reyna and her fellow activists were illegally arrested and detained for months for finding planted illegal firearms and explosives. Sobrang walang puso at malasakit yung gobyerno. Pinatay na nga nila yung anak. Tapos ultimo nakaposas pa at napakadaming armed men pa nakasama. Overkill, sobra.
Yeah.
Nakakalungkot. Meanwhile, yung mga politiko na milyon-milyon ang ninakaw sa taong bayan, halos palayain na kapag bibisita sa mga kamag-anak nilang may sakit. Tang ina. Grabe, sobra akong umiyak diyan kasi grabe.
Durog na durog din ako dyan.
Jim and I know for a fact itong how crucial breastfeeding is
And it's
to heal a sick child.
It's medically proven na the touch and the smell of the mother to a newborn is the most important thing. That's why hospitals nga now, that's what they push for.
Kung walang incubator, kangaroo
kailangan
mother care.
nanay na. So, kaya when this is the one that this is the one that made me quit Twitter talaga. As in,
grabe.
hindi ko na talaga gets. So again, back to the question, Ali, yung inhumanity nga. Alam ko nga na it's a collection of it's a collection of wrong choices, no? Or let's say you're surrounded by people and your values are compromised, you have to make these choices and therefore you end up being quote unquote evil. But in this case, there's no air quotes because they're evil. But what I think is what we can say, parang to top all of that is the fact that this is clear na eh. Parang clear, innocent human being, parang at her lowest of lows. We've lost a child. That's nothing can go lower than that. And for you to destroy that person pa and humiliate her and strip her of that right Ako yun yung ano talaga.
Oo.
Hindi na yun parang, yun ano na yun eh. Parang, yun pure ano na yun. Demonyo talaga yun.
Oo.
Demonyo.
Alam mo, Jim, now that I'm thinking about it, it's this that should not make us quit Twitter. Because they listen to Twitter.
Yeah.
And I think we should it's making me so angry right now, reading about it again. Okay, I hope this episode will do everyone, like, give us inspiration na we're not alone in thinking of these things. Well, yeah, nag-trend kayong Duterte meltdown, diba? And we should just keep fucking fighting this. Anyway, one more, yung injustice. Absolute pardon to Pemberton.
Diyos
Yung
ko
US
po.
Marine who was jailed for the death of a transgender woman. Si Jennifer Laude.
Alam mo yung ginagawa
I
talaga
suggest,
nila.
sabi niya,
Ay.
si Kimmy, sabi niya, I suggest reading on Pemberton's interrogation about how cruel he did the murder. He called her it. Side context, Roque was one of the counsels for Jennifer Laude in this case before.
Ano, Ali?
Basta parang nangyayari, sinusunod-sunod lang nila eh. Parang habang sinusulit nila habang yung mga tao hindi pa ganun kagalit sa kanila. Lahat ng mga pwede na nilang baliktarin na nila ngayon. Kasi alam nila, mga pinagkakautangan nila to eh. 'Di ba?
Oo
Kaya
nga
sila
eh, yun nga eh.
kaya sila
Totoo,
nasa
alam mo,
position.
ganyan ba?
ginagawa na lang nila para kasi parang, okay, malapit na tayong matapos
Oo,
eh. So,
sulit
gawin na natin
lang
lahat.
yan.
Ganun ba, Ali? Sa tingin mo, tong Pemberton thing was
I think may connection yun dyan. Oo, meron yan.
the pardoning of GMA, obviously.
Oo.
The pardoning of Revilla,
Revilla.
because they funded their elections,
Yeah.
their campaign.
So, transactional talaga yan. Kasi, ang tagal nila naghintay dahil dun sa previous na 6 years, dun nga sila nakulong eh. 'Di ba? Ay, nakulong sila. Tapos, kapag hindi nila magawa yan, kaya tignan mo, Jim, kung gaano ka-crucial na ipanalo nila yung mga tao na tingin nila, ipapardon sila. So, kaya sila magra-rally behind Duterte nung panahon na yun kasi pag tinulungan nila si Duterte, siya yung type na magpi-payback. Pag pinush nila isang tao na may accountable nga, ganyan, hindi sila makakalaya. So,
yeah,
tulong-tulong.
obviously, he's the type because he really puts people who have no experience in these different positions.
At saka, di ba, ito rin yung isa, yung kay Sinas. Di ba, ginawa niyang PNP chief, yung nagmanyanita, di ba? Tas,
Yeah.
ang malala pa, sabi niya, ano yung sinabi niya, parang pagkasuhan daw to si Sinas, inaano niya na, pinapardon niya na. Parang sabi niya na, ano ka na, lusot ka na dyan, huwag ka mag-alala. So parang, oo, may statement siya na ganun, na parang,
Pardon in advance?
oo, parang unang-una, hindi trabaho ng presidente yan, hindi ka naman Supreme Court. Pero pinapatawad niya na agad. Kung may manghabol daw sa
What
kanya
an
tungkol doon.
unfunny joke. He's an unfunny joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 5, the missing funds. The missing funds. Nadine says, the missing 15 billion pesos from the PhilHealth Fund. Grabe na, I've forgotten about these things.
Ako rin.
That fund killed a lot of Filipinos, literally. The government should be able to explain what happened with that amount of money. Where is it? What happened? Why did that happen?
Yon, Ali, do you have any additional info doon? Kasi ako, the last thing parang kumbaga, what happens to me is, I see the headline, I'm like, grabe na talaga to, grabe. And then, I'm just so affected that I stop, diving deep, and I know that's not an admirable trait, but ikaw, Ali, may
what,
ano
what
ka?
happens?
Do you have
Kasi
any new stuff there?
I googled it, 15 billion PhilHealth, and the last thing that comes up is August 4, 2020, August 5. So,
Wala, hindi ko na rin
update? Wala.
hindi ko na rin nahukay yan. And
We're just so used to it,
Yeah.
aren't we? Na parang,
yun yung sinasabi
naman
ko
sila.
na sunod-sunod eh. Tas parang hindi pa tapos yung isa, lilipat na sa kabila hanggang sa mag-fade na tong mga to.
yeah.
No? And ganun katindi, no, na nasa isang health crisis tayo. Tapos yung mismong pinagnakawan nila ay yung dapat nagsisave sa mga tao ngayon.
Number 6, misplaced priorities. Alex says, hiring generals or army people instead of medical people to monitor COVID.
PhilHealth.
Also, they shut down ABS-CBN, which would have helped in informing people, especially people in provinces, about what's happening. Especially the weather.
And totoo yan totoo yan. I mean, marami talagang areas sinasabi nila. Meron namang GMA meron namang ibang may mga areas na ABS lang ang may kaya.
Yeah. Oh.
Mag-report.
At 'di ba lumabas nga yung may nag-tweet yung pinakita yung picture na GMA at ano yan sabi?
ABS.
Parang GMA at 10 p.m.
Parang nung bumabagyo,
Signed off.
nung actual Ulysses, ABS-CBN past midnight was still doing their job. And then katabi niya is GMA. Because it's past midnight na, it was the color bars na signed off na. Kasi just like Duterte, na natutulog ng linggo, GMA was like, yeah, it's past midnight. I think I'm just gonna head and like sleep.
Bounce now.
Just another So, yun na nga, hiring generals instead of medical people. ABS-CBN shut down. Passing of the anti-terrorism bill. The Dolo fucking might.
And in that Dolomite pala, nakita mo yun, Ali?
Oo.
Yung nag-selfie yung
si
Yeah.
MMDA.
Si Dolomite lang matatag.
Sino yun, Ali?
Oo. Si MMDA spokesperson.
The girl, that
Oo.
idiot. Sorry.
Oh,
No, not sorry.
Na-interview siya isang beses. Tapos sinabi niya nag-pass away daw yung niya.
Yeah.
Yung kasama niyang candidate na nag-pass out. Kasi meron siya dati siyang parang beauty queen, Jim.
Okay.
Tapos in-interview siya sa TV Patrol ata, tapos ina-explain niya what happened. Sinabi niya, yeah, she passed away. Tapos ganun. Parang dineds niya yung yung nahimatay lang niyang kasama.
Yeah. You know, we wouldn't even poke fun at that if she wasn't continuing this. Grabe
siya
siya, Jim.
tanga.
She's kind of the new Mocha.
Si siya, Celine Pialago.
Naka-block ang Mocha sa Twitter, Twitter words eh.
Good for you.
Oo.
Ito, I'm gonna read this lang from Victoria. Hi, pod parents. Mine is the defunding of Project NOAA. Project NOAA stands for National Operational Assessment of Hazards, implemented by the scientists and engineers from UP and DOST. Sadly, it was defunded last 2017 by the current administration. Plus, tapyas pa yung calamity fund ng sobra. Ate, what's tapyas? Just kidding. Why does it infuriate me? Because sayang. Sayang kasi kung natutuloy yung studies, napapalawak yung research. Mas dumarami ang data sana which could have been useful in disaster risk reduction and management. A lot of people neglect this project just like many others. Filipino researchers are ready to serve the country naman, kahit na ngayon na ang sakit-sakit na. Among many other projects, malaking potential nito that can benefit us Filipinos.
Ali, pagkuwari yung mga ganyan, yung itong Project NOAA, like these different funds for calamities, how does it exactly work?
Kasi, ang basic idea lang naman yan, Jim, mitigation yan, Parang, imbis na, lagi kasi tayong naka-focus sa DSWD kapag may disaster na merong mga pangsalo, salbabida. Sanay tayo sa salbabida Pero,
Yes.
etong NOAA sana, kaya sa Project NOAA rin tumulong din ako sa pag-conceptualize nitong NOAA Kasi nilaunch siya nung sa previous admin Ang ganda lang nung imagery na si NOAA to na Noah's Ark.
Yes.
Pero basically, science ang gagamitin para basically nakaano siya parang naka-waze yung buong Pilipinas. Alam yung geography and alam kung ano yung mga pinakatatamaan na areas. Kaya, mape-predict tuloy gamit yung map na yon na online.
Sino yung pinaka at risk?
Sino yung ano yung level nung baha? Ano yung ano yung level nung sino yung pinaka at risk para alam din kung ano yung magiging preparation for that. Kasi hindi pwedeng pare-parehas yung ibibigay mo sa lahat ng LGUs na preparation. Alam na nga natin na mas may affected na areas. So basically preparation to Jim Parang binibigyan tayo ng lead time para makapag-prepare and mas ma-prioritize alin yung areas na dapat tutukan.
To lessen the damage, to lessen the deaths.
And pretty much, is it, I assume the allocation of these funds are based on, yun nga, the higher risk areas. So parang, di ba, hindi siya, Gets mo? Parang if
Oo.
alam natin na this
Yes,
area is
I
more
think-
prone to flooding, then yeah, okay.
Ano rin
So,
kasi
okay, pero okay lang naman kasi I'm sure yung funding napunta sa bayanihan, We Heal
to
as One
heal.
Act.
Oo nga, ang ganda naman ng pangalan eh. Pero last ko na lang dyan sa NOAA.
Mas maganda kaya Project NOAA, 'di ba? Bayanihan, We Heal as One Act. Galing, oh.
Boom, ganda
Ang
pang headline.
linya-linya yung
Oo
dati.
nga, clickable, mas clickable yung headline, no? So,
Ito ng imagery.
oo nga eh. Yung last ko na lang diyan, yung diferensya talaga nung NOAA, yun nga, backed up by science talaga yan. So, yung DOST talaga yung nag lead diyan. Tapos LGU empowerment sana talaga siya eh. Kasi tinuturuan ng national government, yung local government, paano gamitin yung NOAA na yun. Kasi internet lang ang kailangan mo eh. Para yung City Hall, kunyari, yung local nila na risk management office, kaya na nila yung sarili nila, basically. Equipped sila
Yes.
para mag-prepare as a local government unit. Kesa nakaasa lahat sa national government. Tapos
Yeah.
ayuda na lang yung hihintayin. Nakalubog na kayo. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Imbis na parang ma-prevent yung paglubog na yon. 'Di ba?
Siyempre, kasi kung yung LGU yung gagawa ng trabaho, di hindi mag-glorify yung
Oo, yung nasa taas.
national Tsaka syempre, hindi nila malalagyan ng mga pangalan nila yung mga
Oo, totoo
packaged
lang.
relief
Ay, naku,
relief
yan naman,
goods,
mga
'di ba?
tarpaulin ngayon.
Okay. Next.
Anong tarpaulin?
I mean, like,
Ngayon puro tarpaulin kasi Jib na ni Bongo at saka ni Amy Marcos. So yung sila yung pumupunta sa mga relief areas, tapos nakahanda na yung mga tarps nila na relief operations.
Oh
Senator
my God.
Marcos. Nakakatawa sobra yung isang video.
I saw that. I know what you're talking about.
Alala.
Tell Jim.
Sige, basically, si Senator Marcos, Amy Marcos, nandun siya sa isang LGU. Tapos, nakahanda yung mga pamimigay niya. Tapos may tarp siya doon by Senator Amy Marcos. Tapos, may mga tinuro siyang mga kutsyon na nakahanda doon, na pang ayuda doon sa mga naapektuhan. Tinuro niya, yan ba yung mga sa akin? Sabi, hindi ma'am, kay Lenny yan, kay Lenny.
Paulit-ulit pa.
Paulit-ulit.
Kay Lenny galing, kay Lenny.
Oh, nauna na yan, kay Lenny yan. Tapos para siya, okay. So, parang medyo nasampal sa mukha niya na, kita mo, nandyan yung tulong, pero wala siya dito. Hindi niya kailangan ipangalandakan. Tapos
Oo nga.
walang tarpaulin. Diba?
Hindi niya
Tas-
kailangan sabihin na sa akin galing yan, di ba?
Oo.
Like, who even does that? Who even says like, oh, yung kinakain mo, akin yan, ako nagbigay sa'yo niyan. Parang who even does that?
Well, one tip is to actually understand how the Marcoses think. Watch The Kingmaker.
Lala nun.
Yeah.
Magigets nyo talaga na hindi alien talaga sila. Alien na talaga. As in
Hindi talaga nila
hindi nila gets. As in ano na talaga, as
My
in
favorite part, not to be a spoiler, my favorite part in that movie, my favorite meaning my it's not
The
great.
worst.
The worst is when Bongbong was being interviewed and he said parang umuwi ako pero parang gusto nila mag economy class na flight. Tapos tumatawa siya na parang ba't ako maggaganon?
parang hindi, I can't
do that.
I can't do that.
Kumbaga, kulang na lang sabi niya, I'm Bongbong fucking Marcos.
Tapos si and si Imelda in the movie, again another spoiler, like seeing sick children, as in terminally ill children. Tapos ang sagot niya, kuwawa naman.
Bigyan mo ng
Abutin mo yung-
500.
Bigyan mo ng 500.
O, pambili mo ng candy. Sabi niya, pambili mo ng
oo.
candy. Diyos ko.
Yeah.
Ako naman, again, hindi same sa inyo, hindi naman super spoiler. Pero yung pinakamalala for me, may isang island, si Imelda pumunta ng Africa. Oh, tapos may mga nakita siyang animals na sabi niya, oh, they're so beautiful. Kailangan meron ito sa Pilipinas. Pinadala niya yung mga giraffe, mga zebra, at kung anong mga exotic animals na yan. Pinasakay sa barko. Yun ang Project NOAA nila, no? Pinasakay nila sa barko. Tapos, pinadala dito. Tapos, ito talaga parang inhumane talaga to. Inhuman talaga na parang, yung island na to, na nasa bandang Palawan, I think, pinaalis yung mga tao para patirahin yung mga animal. Ganon kahayop tong mga to.
Ganon kahayop. Tapos iniwan lang nila doon, di ba?
Hanggang ngayon, nandun pa. Tas affected yung livelihood ng mga kababayan natin doon. Kasi yung mga plants nila,
diba?
kinakain ng zebra. So parang, Diyos ko. Tas wala na. Nakalimutan na ng mga tao. Pero
labo talaga.
Isang generation yung pinahirapan nila doon.
Okay. You gotta,
Okay,
you gotta
this is the
wrap
last
up.
one na. It's biases.
Oh.
So, Dara said, when Coco Pimentel and Debold Sinas breached the quarantine protocols, endangering so many people,
Oh my God.
they should be jailed for that Kaso pinardon ni Ugok.
So, just,
Ano sasabi?
ang nangyari is,
Luma ng Ugok.
si Pimentel, a senator, and his pregnant wife, ay, ano yun ulit? He had COVID, right?
Yeah.
He had COVID, but decided to still go to the hospital. He decided to go to the hospital to bring his wife who was in labor and went into the maternity ward.
Yeah.
Correct?
He knew he was positive.
He knew he was positive. He knew he was positive.
Tsaka
And
nag-ano
chose
sa
to
gym.
go.
Nag-SNR nga siya, di ba, after?
Nag-SNR pa.
Nag-SNR pa. So, pagtapos nun, parang sa sobrang tigas ng mukha niya, na parang wala akong pake kahit na anong sabihin niyo sa akin, nag-ano pa? Grocery pa.
Talaga? Blatant na talaga to.
Ano yan? They think they're above the law. Ganun na yun.
Ako
Hindi
meron,
na nga. Go, Ali.
meron akong sabihin about that. Parang tingin ko yung bukod dun sa collective na mga decisions na kanina pa natin pinopoint out. Parang tingin ko yung turnaround, yung privilege nga, Jim. Kasi kung government official ka, kailangan makita mo na yung trabaho mo. Kailangan mong ma-realize na trabaho siya, hindi lang siya basta privilege. Kung may privilege ka man, ayun yung privilege to serve.
Yes.
Kasi hindi lahat ay may ganoong access and power and resources para makatulong sa nation building.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, yung word na privilege ay hindi naman sana ganun kasama kung tinitignan mo siya sa tamang paraan. Pero dahil ang tingin sa privilege ngayon ay title lang, yung government work or government officials ay title siya kaysa trabaho. 'Di ba? Doon nagiging masama.
Yeah.
Ako, in that in fairness kay Tita Lenny, tita,
Yes.
siya, trabaho, regardless of her title.
Yeah.
Well said, Ali. Ang ganda nun. I haven't seen, or I haven't, parang, that reminded me of a very, very important thing about privilege. Tama yun, na we tend to forget na there is a point that these people are privileged. That's why they have support. That's why they have the backing of different people, money, resources. It's to help us. So with that said, I'd like to say, please listen to our previous episode with Ali. Nung time na yun kasi, tinanong ko siya, sabi ko, Ali, parang wala nang pag-asa, ganyan. Pero, with what's happening with the US and, these parang the atrocities that the government keeps piling on, I am now convinced that we can change. We can change the leaders. I'm di ako naiyak na ubo ako. So that's why I am running for the 4th district.
Yay! Charot.
Bakaro para sa
Yes, please, follow us on Patreon.
2022.
Kakat ko yun kasi hindi nila pwede alam kung saan ako nakatira.
Oo, bala.
Pero yun, that's why itong podcast namin, we will make it our thrust. And we will always, and we will keep pushing. Register to vote. If you're a
Yes.
pod kid, please register
So
to
you
vote.
can vote for Jim.
Yes.
Sa
Naka-ready na yung barong Tagalog ko.
yun.
Polo barong.
Tsaka boat shoes.
Boat shoes, polo barong.
Ate, saan magpapasa ng application form? Ate, pwede bang ipalala-move na lang yung form? Kailangan ba ng appearance?
Ate, can you send in PDF?
Ay, naku.
Ate, do you have Telegram? Yeah. So that's it. Thank you so much, Ali.
Thanks,
It's always
Ali.
fun to have you.
Meron lang ako
And
last, okay lang ba?
Okay,
Go.
go ahead.
Kasi tinatry ko rin pag-isipan kanina yung accountability eh. No? And gustong-gusto ko yung word na accountability kasi sa Filipino may maganda siyang translation. Pananagutan. Pananagutan, no? And yung root word ng pananagutan ay sagot. No? Kaya tayo nagde-demand ng accountability sa government officials natin. All the more kay presidente, no? Kasi kailangan bilang presidente may sagot siya sa mga nangyayari sa bansa, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
And kailangan managot siya sa mga
Yes.
pagkukulang niya. And yun yung
Ganda.
Yeah.
yung ibig sabihin ng accountability. Kaya dapat i-demand yan sa kanya at sa mga government officials.
Ganda. Thank you, Ali.